Good morning. This is Jason Dean coming live at you again for another Film Fanatic show. So it is about 10:25 on a Thursday. It's December 28th already. This weekend is the start of a new year. Going into 2024, pretty crazy. So hope everyone's doing good. Again, I've been out of the loop for a little while with Film Fanatic just because of my internet uh, issues, and I'm getting a whole new system put in, which will be hopefully a lot quicker and faster. That won't happen until January 5th, but in the time being, I'm still recording videos, and I've been posting them when I can, when I'm out and I have internet. I I did about 3 videos this week, so I've been still more or less recording the videos every day. Again, there's always tons of movies to talk about and other subjects tied to movies that I love to talk about. So stuff is still coming, but once the internet or my internet issue is resolved, there'll be a ton of videos coming your way. So there's still some on the channel that I did do a little while back that were set as premieres. So there's still some videos coming out. So I appreciate people chiming in, and sorry for the delays in my responses to a lot of the cool comments that people have been making. But all that stuff will eventually be resolved, and we'll get back to the normal situation, hopefully. So today is going to be a different show. It's going to be, I've never done a show like this before, but I was thinking about it a lot. And today is going to be just kind of a movie reflection of this year, 2023. You know, the movies I've seen in the theater, the movies that I think are really good, the best of this year, and then also a few of the movies that I saw that were incredibly disappointing and really, to a degree, made the year a particular way for me as far as new films that have come out in 2023. So kind of a list, an informal, to a degree, a informal list of the best movies of 2023 with a few other things thrown in. And I've never really done a video that way or in this format before, but I figure, what the hell? And I will try to post this, at least this video, before the new year rings in, so to kind of culminate the end of this year. So it's been a journey. It's been a real great journey. The overall experience doing this Film Fanatic thing. It's been a couple of years, and almost 3 years when I started doing videos, which is crazy. When I started doing Facebook Live videos, it was almost 3 years ago already that I started doing that. And then it's been just about a year since I've been doing the YouTube channel, which is still a new thing. And so I'm happy that I was able to, make that transition into the YouTube world. I really enjoy it, and it's been a lot of fun. It's been a big learning experience every time I do a video. I always get some kind of new information on how to try to better things, and it's a lot. And plus, it's just a lot of fun. And I appreciate having conversations along the way with people who are really into films, and you know and will converse, and make each party will make recommendations for each other. And so super fun, and I really appreciate people doing this whole thing. Is definitely one of the most things that I look back at this year as being some of the most fun and enjoyable experiences I've had, is talking about something I really, really, really love, and I hold dear and really dear to my heart, and that is everything that involves film. So thanks again. And so this year was a pretty mixed bag. I think, movies that I saw this year that I thought were just outstanding and really, really good. And it's kind of a funny, funky, weird list. It's a little bit all over the place, but that's just I guess that's just how I roll at this point. Movies that I saw this year that I was really impressed with, and also movies within that list. There were movies that I felt were just incredible, and the other ones I think were very very good, really 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 well done, pretty high pretty high level examples of you know really good filmmaking. And so I would say one of the movies, definitely, I'm just going to run through them, but Infinity Pool, which came out, I believe that came out in January of last year. This movie is just at the tail end, or the beginning, I should say, of 2023. It came out almost a year ago, which is crazy. It came out, um, I think it came out in January, and it was directed by Brandon Cronenberg, who is the son of David Cronenberg. Infinity Pool stars Mia Goth. Just a an incredible film. I'm going to talk about that in a few minutes more. The other movies that I saw in the theater that I thought were really great: Christopher Nolan's last film, Oppenheimer, which came out this year. Really great. I got to see that in the theater. Definitely a movie that was worth seeing in the theater. Christopher Nolan, of course, he shoots all of his films with these really high end IMAX cameras. Truly immersive. Very cool movie. Very surprising in a lot of ways, but very, very good movie. The other movie that I thought was very, very good that I got to see in the theater was Martin Scorsese's Killers of the Flower Moon. Got to see that in the theater probably about 2 months ago. Very cool movie. Very, very dark. I'm a huge Scorsese fan. He's one of my favorite directors. I've just finished up, I did a big series of videos of where I covered, well, actually, I haven't finished it completely, but I just did a big long series. It was okay, it was spread out over time, where I did a coverage of all of Scorsese's movies. One of my favorite directors, a director that I feel still has the fire, still has the juice at 80 years old. The one movie I still have to cover that I haven't done is, I believe, Boxcar Bertha, which is technically his first film, I believe, and that is a movie I haven't gotten to yet. And then I will have every movie that Scorsese has directed on this channel. So that will be something to do that I will work on in the near future. But tremendous movie, Killers of the Flower Moon. Very, very dark. Kind of on the long side, as well as Oppenheimer. Both of those films were very, very long. But, in all honesty, I didn't really think the length really was a problem too much. Maybe I felt well, Killers was probably longer than Oppenheimer, but, it was long. I do want to see it again. The theater, there were some things around it. I don't know if it was the theater. I don't think it was the theater, but there were some problems with the audio when I saw the movie. It was very weird. There were times, the movie's very long, but and there's a lot of dialogue, and there were times where I literally could not really hear what was going on. It was very strange, and it was a little bit too much at times, almost to the point where it kind of took me out of the movie. So I kind of want to see that movie, especially again on like Blu-ray or at least DVD, and watch it at home with the sound cranked so I can understand what the hell was going on. There were times where I couldn't really hear. It was a very strange, kind of disorienting movie experience. But overall, I thought it was a pretty amazing film. And then the last movie I saw in the theater that just stands out, and that is Godzilla Minus One. And Um, I I have to say the second best movie I saw this year, which I don't really hear talked about out of these movies that I just mentioned. This, I would say the second best movie I saw this year, that I don't really hear talked about, and it was a topic of discussion when it came out. It didn't have a very big. I don't even know if the movie was in the theater. I think it was only online streaming. But I thought Infinity Pool was just incredible. It's a definitely a horror movie, but super trippy, super weird, lots of gore, pretty disturbing. The thing that I loved about it was the premise of that movie. It's brilliantly directed by Brandon Cronenberg, and just an incredible movie. So utterly original and truly unsettling. And I'm a huge Mia Goth fan. I can't wait for the sequel to the trilogy that was created by Ty West. And Mia Goth stars in each of the films: X, Pearl, and soon Maxine, which is coming out next year. I'm super excited. I think that franchise is just incredible. Really, really great. Mia Goth is an astounding actress. She's drop dead gorgeous. She's got everything that you want from an actor or actress in in every way possible. Brains and beauty. But at the end of the day, the movie that I was just completely blown away by in every way possible was Godzilla Minus One. Um, you know, Going into that movie, going into Godzilla Minus One, I did not know much about it at all. I had a friend who told me, I don't know, maybe about a month or two ago, that there was a new Godzilla film. He's like, yeah, it's a new Toho movie. It is going to be this, all new Japanese version of Godzilla. And I didn't know it was coming out. I was a huge fan of the last Toho movie, Shin Godzilla, which is an amazing film. I really thought that movie was awesome. And after my buddy had told me about that there was going to be a new Godzilla movie, I remember coming across this trailer for it, and it was a really good trailer because it wasn't one of those trailers that typically comes out these days of where it is basically you don't need to see the movie after you see the trailer. And I watched the trailer and I was like, holy shit, that looks incredible. And I didn't really know what it was about, which was great, but it just totally piqued my interest. And then, and I thought there's probably not a chance in hell that the movie is going to be playing anywhere around here. So, but then I came across, I found a theater where it was playing at, and I was like, oh shit. So I got in contact with a couple of friends to go to it, and we went to it. And I went into it really cold. I didn't even watch the whole trailer. I watched like I don't know, maybe a minute or so of the movie of the trailer, and I was like, this looks amazing. But I didn't know the premise. I didn't know the story. I didn't know, I knew it was Japanese. It was in Japanese. It was a Toho studio original. Toho is, they're legends, and Toho is basically, they've made all the kaiju movies that have come out. They're responsible, of course, for all of the incredible Godzilla movies that have been coming out for close to 50 years. Just legendary. And they do this amazing thing of where they're able to kind of keep the essence of what Godzilla is, and get really, really creative, get really, really wild at times, but still keep, the core base intact, and move the character and the whole kind of world of Godzilla, and the mythology of Godzilla, move it forward and keep it in this very contemporary, and also very innovative light. Um, a lot of their films, they've really taken a lot of creative licenses, or a creative license, to really give you something new. and I really admire that. And plus, they're able to, you know, the Godzilla being the greatest, monster movie of all time, the greatest character in the monster world, I feel, and to just always give it this fresh take. So we went to go see it in the theater, and I thought it would be good, but I was like beside myself on how just what a fantastic marvel of a movie that it truly is. And the other thing I was so blown away by was that how well it was written and how much of an emotional quality the movie had. On one front, you had just fantastic characters, a really great premise to the story, really great acting, beautifully shot, and at the side, on the side of that, it was just a true to form monster movie, and it really paid off on all fronts, on all levels, and the effects in the film were just staggering. And it's kind of my at this point, I'd have to say it's, again, I'm a huge Godzilla fan, huge Toho fan. I do not like the American versions at all. I think they should be all set on fire and buried. And that's my own opinion, but I just think those movies are just awful. They they suffer from like every conceivable thing that fucks up a movie. Really bad writing. No attention to characterization, like just in a general sense. Pretty bad CGI. An overabundance of it in the film, and just not no real cohesive story. And it's not that you're not going to go to a Godzilla movie to be, to expect that you're going to have a Shakespearean experience, but you still need to tell a good story. You still have to have, God forbid, characters on the screen that you actually care about. And I feel like every American Godzilla movie that I've seen has completely fucked it up, and they have no idea what the hell they're doing. And they're so overbloated, they're so ridiculous, and they have no idea on how to spend money wisely. They just uh, waste so much potential. And and I felt like Godzilla Minus One was so good that was a movie that should be the death knell, for whom the bell tolls for all Godzilla movies that come out, that are put out by these dumb, big, fat, bloated Hollywood studios that are just shit. And I, again, I was taken aback by so much of this film. It's a, not only is it just an incredible monster movie, but it's such a well done movie. I think it's, for me, I think it's, at the end of the day, and again, there's so many great films in this league of Toho, but I think at the end of the day, it's like probably the best Toho movie. It's probably my favorite. And I think it's so good that, and again, I wouldn't have thought I would be saying something like this, but I think it's, well, easily the best movie I saw of this year, 2023, head and shoulders, the best movie going experience I've had this year. And I will have to say, I can't remember the last time I went to the movies and I had this intense of an experience. It's been years. And I think this movie should be nominated for Best Picture. I think it should be. I think it's that good. It's not only a monster movie, it's just a really high level movie. It's so well done. And I can't recommend it enough. I'm so happy that people are going out to see this movie. It's been extended in the States as far as its theatrical run. It's made a shit ton of money. It has pretty much destroyed every Marvel movie that has come out. It's a very inspiring story. It's a really I think it's a real important movie for people to see because it shows what people can do if they're creative for not all that much money in comparison to a lot of these bloated piles of shit that have been coming out. So I can't recommend it enough. But easily the two best movies of this year that I've seen is Infinity Pool, Mia Goth, and without a doubt, head and shoulders above everything that I've seen is Godzilla Minus One. Just yeah, I want to see it again in the theater. I think it's the very definition as to why the movie going experience is magical and so incredibly important, and you know one of the greatest thrill rides a person can go on. So, and I'm not going to really talk about the shitty movies that I saw this year. I've done reviews, and they're going to be posted. I don't usually do negative reviews, but a couple of movies that I saw this year were really, really disappointing. So and terrible. So they'll be posted anyway. Movies that I will just mention it, I guess, quickly. Two movies that I saw that were pretty much unwatchable and really disappointing was the new Exorcist movie, Exorcist Believer. I saw that recently on DVD, and that movie is it's got to be one of the worst movies I've ever seen, and it's a complete atrocity in every way. I couldn't believe it. I almost could not believe how the fuck did that movie get made? Like it's so unbelievably bad. And I did a review for that, which I haven't posted yet, but I'm going to upload that because that movie, I think, generally is just an insult to people's intelligence in every conceivable way. And then I also did a show, and I think I did record it, and I haven't posted it yet. And that is on the new Ari Aster movie, Beau is Afraid, with starring Joaquin Phoenix. Huge Ari Aster fan. Of course, he directed Hereditary, which I think is an amazing film. Midsummer, he also directed, which I love that movie. Also, I was really looking forward to this new movie, Beau is Afraid, starring Joaquin Phoenix. Going into it, I didn't see it in the theater. I saw it actually just a few days ago. Going into that movie, I was really excited, but then I did hear some extreme criticisms of the film. Not that I take into take all kinds of negative reviews into account, but generally you can get a sense of a movie by if you get a general consensus by the public and maybe people or critics, like legitimate film critics, on whether or not a movie is like overly bad or overly good. For the most part, it gives you an indication of what a film's going to be like. And not again, it's not that I buy into that, but it does say something to a degree. And Beau is Afraid had a lot of negative things. It was praised in some circles. It was talked about pretty highly in a lot of areas. But the thing that I saw was that even people who really liked it and people who really do love the work of Ari Aster, like myself, were highly critical of the film, and they had a lot of issues around it. So I was a little bit trepidatious seeing it, and I rented it on DVD, and that movie was, I think, probably the biggest disappointment that I've seen this year, easily, and by far this movie, by far this year of 2023. I wouldn't say it's a flaming pile of shit like Exorcist Believer is, because Ari Aster is a really, really talented director. But it's kind of an awful movie. It's unwatchable. It's bludgeoning, and it's unfortunately, I think it is one of the most pretentious movies I have ever seen in my entire life, easily this year, where it gets so lost in its own. Um, I don't know. I think the movie crawls up its own ass and doesn't leave. That's the only way I can describe it. And I was so looking forward to it, but it was so disappointing, and it hurt my brain, and I could not make it all the way through. So I did a show, and I do believe I did a show, and I haven't posted it yet, but I am going to be doing. Stay tuned for that video, because I feel like it's an important movie to still talk about. So, here's to 2024. Hopefully, we'll have some other great films come out. It's been a rough year, I think, overall, as far as new releases. But Godzilla Minus One was so goddamn good that it like wipes away all of the bad. So thanks again, and we will see you next year. Peace.